I believe in places like Madhya Pradesh and maybe at other places, 90% areas of any state are not there under any kind of master plan. So there are no restrictions whatsoever regarding floor area ratio and FSR and etc. all those things. But Madhya Pradesh, in case places like Indore, Bhopal, where there are master plans, so we have devised the strategy of transferable development rights, TDRs. In any case, if somebody requires more FAR, he can purchase TDR with somebody else who is not going to use that FAR for his particular piece of land. So that can be utilized here. Then government has also given some kind of procedure where you can, if you want to improve your floor area ratio, you can, government can give the permission for that also by examining the case on merit basis. In Madhya Pradesh, we have so one more issue which was raised, that was regarding industrial tariff versus commercial tariff in power sector. In Madhya Pradesh, power supply has been very good. I am very happy to announce that Madhya Pradesh next year is going to get 24/7 electricity in all the villages of Madhya Pradesh. As the Jyotigram scheme has been very successful in Gujarat, so it's almost certain that before 2013 June, Madhya Pradesh is going to get electricity in all the villages 24 hours. I am very happy to announce that I can vouch that Indore and Bhopal and all the district headquarters are getting better electricity at any place in the India, any place in India, and any way it can be counter-checked and anybody can see it. I have worked as chairman cum managing director of Western Zone of Electricity Distribution Company, so I know that the tariff differential between the industrial tariff and commercial tariff is, I believe, it must be very meager, or rather it is equal. And as I have told that Madhya Pradesh government has decided that the tourism sector will be given industrial status, so I believe there will not be any problem of that kind. So that issue has been sorted out by Madhya Pradesh. There are lots of policy things which is there in the tourism policy 2010. You can see on internet also. But the major factors which are there in the tourism policy, which is not there at any other place in country, is that a tourism policy 2010 envisages that state government, there will be a committee, the State Tourism Promotion Council, which will be headed by Honorable Chief Minister. And that committee can decide to accord a status of a special tourism zone to certain areas. And in those areas, there will be exemptions of different kinds. Exemptions regarding stamp duty, registration fee, exemptions regarding luxury taxes, exemptions regarding entertainment tax, exemption regarding road tax. So there are plethora of tax exemptions that will be there in a special tourism zone, which we are going to announce very soon. We are trying to have that meeting sooner rather than later. So then Madhya Pradesh government in last cabinet we have decided that we will give support in case somebody makes heritage hotels, budget hotels, say bigger hotels and resorts. Then for say promoting tourism of conferences and others, we are going to give support in tune of say 25% of the entire capital cost, so that may be around 10 crores. So there will be lot many new items in which has been corrected by the new tourism policy. I always used to remember after joining tourism sector just in the month of July, that while I was preparing for civil services, there were three keywords which were the buzzword for the entire tourism sector. One was awareness, second was infrastructure, and third was marketing. I believe this was an article published in Yojana somewhere in 1992-93, and it still holds true. So what is the role of state governments or the central government for that matter is to see the infrastructure part, where the state governments can have a good road network. The central government, with the support of the state government, can have good rail network. the central government and state governments can have enabling the processes so that the air taxis, services, etc. can be brought in a bigger fashion. I'm very proud to announce that Madhya Pradesh is the only state where we do have internal domestic carrier with the help of Ventura. We are giving them big support. We are underwriting 25 to 33% seats. It is 12-seater aircraft where we are underwriting 25% seats in case for bigger cities like Indore, Gwalior, Jabalpur, Bhopal. But for smaller places where it goes, we give support in tune of 33%. Almost 1/3 seats are underwritten by the government. Then the government has also given exemption of aviation, exemption of VAT on ATF. So government is giving great support in these areas. Recently, Honorable Chief Minister has decided that whatever places which are good places for tourism in Madhya Pradesh, they will be connected with very good link of roads. So these are the kinds of initiative Madhya Pradesh government is taking. There are some suggestions which has been given by the sector. So I am seeing it for the first time. So I will be really very happy if I get these these presentation, and I will try to take these matters with my state government. What I am trying to say that in case of Madhya Pradesh, we are trying very hard to loosen out the grip. We are trying very hard so that you are not hassled by the bureaucratic hurdles. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mathew Samuels has to take the Puducherry minister to meet the tourism minister of Goa, so we will excuse him. In the meantime, Mr. Chagan Bojbal is on his way. He should be here in 5 minutes. So instead of dispersing and again assembling, we'll keep this going. And can we have some Q&A? Dr. Ghasanaidi, you wish to speak, ask some questions.
Well, thank you very much. I heard the different idea from different region from the Secretary of Tourism. I just need to answer Mr. Kumar, I think. Mr. Kumar, you compared your state to UK. Well, or to Europe. You say you are bigger than all European countries, even Mexico. Do you know that all European country does not have a Ministry of Tourism? Do you know that all Europe, the tourism is handled by the private sector and not by the government? Do you know that United States of America, with all these figures that they don't have something called Ministry of Tourism or Minister of Tourism. The private sector handled that. Do you know that India, with all these different kind of taxes and Secretary of Tourism, they have only 7.2 million tourists a year. If I go to Turkey, which is similar to India, one city only in Turkey called Antalya. Antalya is similar to Goa on the beach. No history in Antalya, no archaeology in Antalya, no old churches in Antalya. They just sell sand and sea. They have over 8 million tourists. One city, not a country. Now, in the 20th century, we saw two big powers, Russia, America. In the 21st century, we are talking about two new powers, China and India. Well, how India want to be one day a superpower if they still have so many administrative things? I just saw in the presentation that you have to go through 135 licenses to operate a hotel. Excuse me? How many licenses? Excuse me, how many? 128.
Mr. Singh says it's increased beyond that now.
My God, I do not know how those people are operating hotel. I don't know. I will not. As a hotelier, believe me, I will not. Now I admire the hotelier from India because they are truly pioneers. They are truly sacrificing a lot. I admire them. I admire them completely. Even Captain Nair, at 65 years old, he started Leela hotels, and he has to go through 123 licenses. I mean, it's incredible. This is why you need to modernize this sector in India, not through going through a lot. France, you were talking about Europe. France has over 100 million tourists. No Ministry of Tourism, no Minister of Tourism. 120 million tourists a year. You can have that in India. You can have that. It's not complicated and it's not difficult. You have all the ingredients. And the most important things, other than the beaches and archaeological and history, you have very important issue. You don't find it anywhere else. You have the people of India. The people of India. They are excellent. You can look at them everywhere. They trained a little bit and they are very nice. They are very smiling. I think the Indian customs and the Indian immigration at the airport should learn from the employees at the hospitality how to smile. When you arrive to India, immediately they look at you, he's a tourist, maybe he's a terrorist. And they ask you always, they did it to me last day, they ask you, why you are coming to India? I say, why we should not come to India? Is that a closed country? But why you are coming? Well, I am attending a conference. Which kind of conference? I said, do you know all conference going on? They should smile. India can be a destination. It's not complicated. The most easiest things to have someone at the border saying, welcome to India with a nice smile. Someone who come, you say that the American is #2 tourist coming to India. Well, the Americans who will come from United States, they will have 12, 13, 15 hours. The most important things to see when he will arrive, welcome to India, with a nice smile. Welcome to India. This is the most important things. You spend millions of dollars to do incredible India. That's very nice. I love it. But you have to also apply it on the land, not only a picture and a sound. This is why I do hope one day that I can come to India, I can get my visa at the airport for $10 and go in. This is what I do hope to encourage tourism, because tourism will bring you currency. Tourism, if you imagine if you have 100 million tourists, if he spend $1,000, imagine how much you will get. Much more than the VAT and the taxes and this and that and this and that. Thank you.
Produces only 22 jobs in the manufacturing sector. Now, all the state governments pay so much of emphasis on industrial policy to set up plans, but the manufacturing sector wants to reduce the employment much as possible. They are looking at productivity per employee, whereas the same 10 lakhs invested in hotels and restaurants and the tourism sector, can you imagine how many jobs it produces? 88 jobs in India. Now, it's obvious where the emphasis should be. So that's the reason why the Prime Minister, after hearing our minister's presentation, set up a high-level committee under the chairmanship of his own principal secretary, Mr. Pulok Chatterjee, and all the concerned ministries with tourism are members of the committee. So decisions taken at the PMO is implemented immediately. And the good news is that visa on arrival, as you mentioned, is one of the decisions taken. We have 17 countries now covered, and we're expecting 17 more countries to be covered soon. And you mentioned about the policy where you can't re-enter the country within 6 months. You know, if you hold a foreign passport, and if you come to India and you've gone to Nepal or any other neighboring country, you can't re-enter back into India within 6 months. Now, that's caused a lot of suffering, and that's one of the recommendations we made to the Pulok Chatterjee committee. And in the next few weeks, we understand a decision will be taken to abolish that. Because obviously, it's a big hardship for foreign tourists, and even Indian nationals who have now taken foreign passports, in case they have any mishap in the family or they need to come back and they made one more visit, they can't come back. The second trip cannot take place within 6 months. So we have such aberrations. We have to agitate these points, but the government finally listens to us.
I'd like to make a couple of more points. In fact, this is what I was saying, that the industry has not asked that the Ministry of Tourism should be abolished. I wish that was the #1 point here. The industry has not asked that we should have better customs and better immigration at the airport. That's another issue that should have been here. But let me also tell you that the customs and the immigration will only improve if the industry says that we need to have better HR management policies, which is not only about getting concessions for new institutes. It's also about institutes that we are already running, and that's what I made. That's the statement which I made earlier. Also, as you rightly said, France gets so many million tourists, and Spain gets so many million more, and Antalya gets so much, and Istanbul gets so much. But why are they getting so much? They are not getting so much because some tax issues have been resolved there. They are getting so much because they are actually doing better promotion. They are doing more focused promotion. Their marketing campaign is better. They are perhaps also, and infrastructure is another issue which Vivek just raised. Now look at where we were 50 years ago and where some of these other countries were 50 years ago. So we are catching up on infrastructure. We were a poor country. 50 years ago, we really had very poor quality infrastructure. That infrastructure is gradually improving, and that gradual improvement of infrastructure is only coming about because we are now able to contribute enough taxation to build that infrastructure. So I totally agree with you that this license regime should go. But these 125 licenses keep increasing and decreasing in every presentation. So that's another issue as to which are those licenses which we need to sort of deal with. But I totally agree with you that if we need to increase the numbers and the revenue, we need to have policies which makes easy to do business in the country. And doing business more easily is something which I think everyone in the government is actually wanting to do. Thanks.
No, the main point of the presentation was that we have to compete with our other destinations in South Asia as well as other destinations. So if the multiple taxation leads to a total taxation of 22% as it does in India, and our neighboring countries have 5%, 7%, obviously you can't compete with them. So the whole idea behind the unified GST, when it comes about, is to have all the taxes under one regime. So we are hoping that the GST will bring all the taxes down to about 8%, and that will be affordable, and we can compete with our other destinations in our region.
Sir?
I think what Ashish said and what's coming out of the discussions is, as government's role, if we concentrate basically on promotion, on infrastructure, and simplification of procedures, I think the battle is won. The tourism is done not by government or by ministries of tourism, but by private sector, by all of you. The government has to only allow and facilitate you to function. That's very important. And I don't think in Gujarat we have, or many other states also, you need to really relook at this number of 125. It's not really, I don't think it's like that, but at least in Gujarat, it's very, very simple and fast. We have a Vibrant Gujarat summit where we review constantly the number of new investments which are coming. But as I mentioned to you, within government also we have various departments, and on behalf of all of you, we keep internal advocacy, we keep fighting even within government to get things cleared. What Ashish must be doing in Maharashtra, I keep doing in Gujarat. So getting the other various departments of government off you, kind of hands-off approach is not easy, because for generations or for several years, they have seen you as a golden goose, any business. So getting an inspector out or health inspector away from you is not easy job, you know. So that is what we need to do. If we do these three things as tourism departments, we promote aggressively, we get the infrastructure created where again other departments are involved. We work on those lines, and we simplify the procedures and let you function. We don't run tourism ourselves. I think that is the crux of the whole thing, and that is how the numbers will grow. It is not taxation, it is not fiscal benefits which will make tourism rock. It is not loss of revenues for the government. You know, in fact, it's a reverse vicious circle which will set in if you keep only in terms of the taxation issues. It's a very narrow kind of a thing. It's an immediate benefit which you see. But if you have an overall concentration on these three things, you make governments invest on promotion, make governments invest on public infrastructure, and make governments simplify and let you function peacefully. I think that's the crux of it.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I have a question for them.
Yes, we're running late. Honorable Minister is already here. Last question, please.
Maharashtra has set up the HDPB board. Why has Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh not set up the board, sir, so far?
So we have a GIDB, which is for infrastructure, and all of our major projects go into that board. It's a fast track. They have a powers of cabinet. Yeah, for tourism, we have set up a committee recently
Mr.
under
Mitra,
the Chief
this
Secretary.
is only to link up the center and the states. If the GR has come to you from the center to push the HDPB in place, we are only requesting to form the HDPB so that the center is able to link with you like Maharashtra has done.
Yeah. That is.
Would it be possible for you to give us a date when you can set up the HDPB?
I think now the elections are nearing, so most of the works, if the code of conduct comes fast, then all these things will, kind of be affected.
So before the code of
but
conduct?
We'll try for that. The file is already moved for that purpose. But if it
And,
doesn't happen, maybe in January.
Madhya Pradesh?
He's just taken over. Thank you, dignitaries on the dais.
Sorry, I don't want to hold on much. Can
Sure.
the governments will come and go, but our friends, the secretaries, will continue. Can they formulate a 5-year policy as a 5-year plan in our country that they will have a uniform system for tourism, for licensing, for taxation? I think that would be the biggest thing, because non-barriers, all barriers are creating these problems. This state X, the other state Y, the other state Z. So if we can have a uniform policy for all these things, even